Oh, me not looking good over here. Hold on. It could be better. It could be better. Levels good. Levels good. Levels good. Daily go get mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about the radical left tonight. Talking about the radical left. Anytime you listen to Donald Trump talk, he's always talking about the radical left, the radical left, the radical left. What we talking about, baby? What we talking about, baby? I don't know. The radical left. I mean, do we even really know what that is? Well, we do know what it is, and it's interesting. It's interesting how sometimes we can just throw words around without really knowing what they mean. So I looked it up. The meaning of the radical left, baby. And let's see if y'all agree with the way that we've been using it. What the heck? Where'd it go? Oh, man. All right, let's do it again then. Okay, so the radical left. Are y'all ready for the meaning of the radical left? Are you ready for the meaning of the radical left? Are you ready for the meaning of the radical left? Are you ready for the meaning of the radical left? Yo, what up, Marvin? What's good? How you feeling? The radical left refers to political factions holding extreme left-wing views, often advocating for the abolition of capitalism, private property, and traditional state structures to create an egalitarian society, frequently synonymous with the far left. This ideology supports revolutionary over reformist change, embracing ideologies like Marxism, socialism, anarchism, and anti-fascism. Anti-fascism. The radical left. The radical left. Trump be talking about the radical left, baby. The radical left. You listen to somebody say something long enough, or over and over and over, if somebody keeps kind of plugging in that socket, and you already have some preconceived prejudices against the faction that they may be talking about, or the people that they may be talking about, or the group that they may be talking about, or the ideology that they may be talking about, or the political party that they may be talking about. The radical left, the radical left. But when you think about what I read to you, and you ask yourself, well, is this definition really describing what I'm hearing the president of the United States talk about? And this is the president of the United States that we're talking about. That's the part that gets me. It's the president of the United States that we're talking about. We're not talking about just some Joe Schmo or some blogger or some content creator or something like that. We're talking about the president of the United States that uses this type of rhetoric. The president of the United States that uses this type of propaganda. And there's a good chance that if you asked him exactly what he's talking about, he may try to explain things just the way that I read them from Google. But would it be true? Would it be true? And would it have to be true in order for people to follow that ideology? I mean, people who follow Donald Trump, who believe in what he's saying, they don't seem to give a shit about whether he's telling the truth or not. They accept what he's talking about as true enough. So it's either absolutely true to them, or it's true enough, or it's as close to true enough for them to get on board with it. So the separation that's taking place within this country is alarming to me. It is. We've always been separated, but mostly on the basis of race, religion, ethnicity, things that we could easily point to as the reason for the division. We're used to racism. We're used to division. We're used to discrimination. We're used to that. It's not like those things are just sneaking up on us. Like, hey, look, I'm racist. I'm discriminatory. And I don't even like to get into the whole racism thing because it's the hardest thing to make somebody admit. And it can be extremely hard to prove. Extremely hard to prove. That's why when somebody gets sued for racist practices, they're really just winning a civil lawsuit. Racist practices. So you denied somebody or chose somebody in business on the basis of race, ethnic background, or something like that. You know, you cannot tell a person who denies that they like a particular race or not. You can't make them admit that that's how they feel one way or another. If they choose not to address that issue, honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. So, you know, that's one of the reasons I try to stay away from the whole racist argument. I can know in my heart of hearts, who is and who may not be. But I choose to focus my efforts somewhere where I know I can win or where I know I can be more effective. So Marvina says, hey, y'all, my fellow radicals, the radical left, baby, the radical left. Said, I also don't want children talked into being they, them. Let them make up their own minds. I can't stand him. I don't like him either. I don't. You know, there was a time in my life I would have said, you can't really say that you don't like somebody that you've never met, somebody that you've never really stood in front of. I was wrong. I was wrong. You do not have to know someone in order to have, or in order to have an opinion of them or to pass judgment on them. You just don't. If somebody performs in a way, acts in a way, does things that you don't like, you have the right to not like them. And you can express that. You can express that. In business, you may not be able to operate under those types of feelings. However, as a private citizen, there's nothing saying that you have to like everybody or you have to appreciate everybody. There's nothing in the law that says that. Actually, the law says the exact opposite. But in business practices, you better get your shit together. Make sure y'all hit the like button, please. Please, 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 please. I would appreciate if you hit the like button. It helps the channel. The channel needs help. We're going to have a good talk tonight. We are going to have a good talk tonight. I've had a crazy day. Happy Power Monday. Monday is in the books. We're moving on to Tuesday. However, we still have to deal with Monday's business. We have to deal with Monday's business, sir. Oh, no. You're not going to make it, sir. I'm getting rid of you. Let's see. And fuck you. Thank you. Yes, you are done, sir. You go bye-bye. You go bye-bye. You go bye-bye. All right. It's all good. It's all good. Listen, one thing I am trained for and very used to are trolls. And if we're doing a show like this tonight, we're definitely going to get some trolls tonight. What's going on, Stacy? How you feeling, Ma? Good to see you. What you doing up late night on this Monday? I hope life is treating you well. All right, so the radical left. The radical left. You know, listen, like I'm with you, Marvina. I was thinking that. I was like, maybe we ought to listen. If we allowed ourselves to call each other niggas or decided that being called that is not going to hurt our feelings anymore, then I'm like, wait a minute, radical left? What are we radical about? How are we radicalized? I mean, there's a good chance that they're not really describing us, but they're labeling us. Maybe we ought to take the label and do with it what we want to. Maybe that's what we should do. Stacey White says, you're teaching me how to fight. Teaching you how to fight. How am I doing that? I mean, that would be a noble thing. I'm all about self-defense. So if I can teach you how to put up your dukes and make sure that you don't get hurt and make sure that those who try to hurt you get hurt, well, count me in, baby. Count me in. The radical left, the radical left, the radical left, the radical left, the radical left. We might be. But the thing is, they say that we are anti-capitalist. Since when don't Democrats want to make any money? The difference is they want to spread the wealth. They don't want just all of the people at the top to get all the money. They believe that a lot of people in the middle should get some. People down at the bottom should be able to live. They should be able to get some. Do they always practice it? No, but that's the ideology. So anti-capitalist, I don't know. I did read somewhere, though, in the United States, we really have no left. Like, we talk about the left, which is supposed to be what side the Democrats are on. But they say in practice, if you really looked up what the left symbolizes, which might be what I read about with the radical left, we may not be that. We may just be calling ourselves that. The left. Now, like with me being a registered Democrat, I don't agree with everything that the Democrats do or everything that they believe in. Like all of the gay shit, I ain't really with all that. The trans shit, I ain't really with all that. Even some of the integration shit and the what do they call that stuff? The gentrification, I ain't really with all that. You know what I mean? Like, but I do believe that people should have a chance to live free, to express themselves freely, and to be able to make enough money to take care of their family. I believe in all of that. And I do believe that government should take care of its people. I don't see how the right doesn't believe that the government should have anything to do with you or me. I can see how they should have nothing to do with being in our personal lives. But let me ask you something. Because, Republicans, the GOP, they love to say that they want smaller government. They want everything privatized. They don't want any government agencies. They believe that all money that gets made should be made privately. Now I'm thinking like, then why have laws? Why have laws? If all business is private business and there shouldn't be any regulations on it, think about this. Then why have any laws? It's my money, it's my shit. I should be able to do whatever I want to with my things, my money. I want y'all to really think about this because there's a lot of contradictory stuff and I could be wrong. And y'all know how it go. Like I said, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Y'all can call into the show 215-518-6149. 215-518-6149, 215-518-6149, 215-518-6149, 215-518-6149, 215-518-6149. If you would like to call in, and you can straighten me out. But if all businesses and all government agencies should be privatized, like they want the U.S. mail service to be privatized, no more government mail. You know how much it might cost to send a letter? And do you know what you might be able to send through the mail if that ever happened? Think about it. Think about if the post office was privatized, because they tried to do it. They want the post office to be privatized. So all of those veterans that normally work at the post office, they wouldn't be able to lay claim to that. It would be just like FedEx. It would be just like UPS. It would be just like DHL. It would be just like it would be private. So we wouldn't have any mailboxes. Well, we might not. So your mom, your dad, your grandparents that are so used to just putting their outgoing mail in their mailbox, and the mailman seeing what they need to mail and taking it to the post office. No more of that. No more of that. That's how it would be if it was privatized. They may provide post offices, or they might not. The thing is, if they're fully privatized, can you require them to have mailboxes? Why should you? Why should you be able to do that? Should you donate $500? Sure, why not? What the hell? I mean, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It'll only help. Go ahead, do it. And Marina says they are just messing shit up. Ugh. Man, it's gonna get deep. We're gonna really have this conversation tonight. We're gonna get a little deep into it, because the more I think about it, let's look at it this way. Like I said, if everything is going to be privatized, like the mail, they want to take the IRS back. I'm with that. I do think the IRS should be out of here. Why should they tax us money? The thing is, they haven't been taxing all of us. They haven't been taxing the billionaires. And that's whether Democrats have been in office or Republicans been in office. That seems a little suspicious to me. That seems a little hinky. That sounds like it needs investigation. So if all of us haven't been paying taxes, getting rid of the IRS serves who? Serves who? It would help us out, and we would finally be getting the money that we make. Or would we? Because the things that come out in your check are more than just taxes. Social Security, certain government programs. And if everything is privatized, there are no government programs. You're just out here on your own. And people can charge how much they want to charge, and you either have the money to pay for it or you don't. See, people who make more than 7 figures, they don't really give a fuck. They don't care about people who don't make that much money. That's why when we look at like how high gas prices are right now, you have to understand that to somebody like Donald Trump, that really isn't a thing. He really doesn't think that this is a problem, because he doesn't know what it's like to make 6 figures. He doesn't know what it's like not to make a whole lot of money. He doesn't know what it's like not to have a whole lot of money. And because he's older now and he's filthy rich and he has made so much money in his senior years, it really is an affordability hoax to him, because he doesn't think outside of himself. He doesn't think outside of himself. So you have to think outside of yourself. But you have to really understand what he's saying to you when he charges somebody with being the radical left, or, like he knows better, but he just won't do better. He knows better, but he's not going to do better because that wouldn't serve him. Now, think about if everything was privatized the way you radical leftists are so against. Everything was privatized. Marriage is private. Well, really? No, I'm sorry. I said it wrong. Marriage is a government entity. It's a state-sanctioned union. When you go and get a marriage license, who is the licensing authority? Now, we know some religions, they don't necessarily go through the state in order to declare you married. Like Muslims say, no, you can be married by God. So you can come to the mosque and we will sanction your marriage, and it'll be between you and your spouse and Allah. But no legal bind. There's nothing legally binding. So you can walk away just like you were boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, for those right-wing Republicans, you want everything privatized, right? That would be your marriage too. So if your marriage is private, no marriage license, no blood test, none of those things. Well, then child support, spousal support, things like that, ain't none of your business. None of your business. So, it seems like they want to pick and choose what should be a government entity or not. But asking questions such as these and way more, we can find out who's who. We can find out who really believes what. Hit the like button, y'all. Do me that one favor. Please hit the like button. Y'all kind of quiet tonight, but that's okay. We're going to get it popping. We gonna get it popping. You said they're just messing shit up. He better not mess with my money. He better not mess with my money. Well, he's gonna do that. I don't think that there are any politicians out there that are not gonna play around with your cash. They all gonna do that. If they don't do nothing, they're gonna play with your cash. But we the radical left right now. The radical left. The radical left, baby. We need to test this thing. We need to test this radical left thing. Are you really real? Are you really real? Are you really left? Are you really left? Let's read that definition of what radical left means again. For those of y'all who weren't present at the time that we Googled the term radical left, the radical left refers to the political factions holding extreme left-wing views, often advocating for the abolition of capitalism. The abolition of capitalism. The abolition of capitalism. Private property and the traditional state structures to create an egalitarian society. Frequently synonymous with the far leftist ideology, supports revolutionary over reformist change, embracing ideologies like Marxism, socialism, anarchism, and anti-fascism. Antifa. Anti-fascists. It would make sense to me that all United States citizens would be anti-fascist. Do you know what fascism is? Well, let's look up the definition of fascism and see if it sounds like anything that we have been exposed to, especially in recent years. What is the meaning of fascism? Okay. All right. Fascism definition and meaning. Okay. Often fascism is a populist political philosophy, movement, or regime such as that of the fascists that exalts nation and often race above the individual, that is associated with centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of opposition. It's a hard definition. At the core of fascism is loyalty to tribe, ethnic identity, religion, tradition, or, in a word, nation. There are differences between Italian fascism, German Nazism, and their various nationalist descendants. Well, if you know anything about World War II and what Mussolini had going on in Italy, you know, he was kind of like the original fascist. But in a fascist regime, you normally have like sort of like an empirical leader, you know, not necessarily a king, not necessarily. You have one person that pretty much rules over the country, and they require strict loyalty to whatever principles, whatever rules, laws, ideals that leader of that country deems important. So, in a fascist regime, whoever the leader is of that country or of that faction is going to control all of the money, and they're going to control all of the ideas. So basically, the ideology of the whole country, the way of thinking, the culturalism is going to come through that leader. It's that simple and that complicated at the same time. But this has been done. There have been fascist societies that have made some strong headway in this world, and you know, there were plenty of people on board. Now, if you believe that Donald Trump has some fascist ideas, I won't disagree with that. I definitely agree that he has some fascist ideals. Is he a full-on fascist? Outwardly or admittedly, no. In practice, ideologically, it could definitely be argued that he does. It could absolutely be argued that he does. So the other question that goes along with what we're talking about tonight is, are Democrats the radical left? What's your opinion? Are Democrats the radical left? Do we have what it takes in order to pull off being radical left? My reader says extreme is the trigger word. Don't get offended says, does it matter who's leader? It doesn't change your life. How does it not change your life? How does it not change your life? You know, I like when people say it doesn't matter if you vote. It doesn't matter what the government is or whatever. Oh, hold on a second. Caller with the last name Diesel. Welcome to the Daily Go-Getterism Show. What's on your mind tonight?
This is the one don't call. I don't know a Diesel. The one don't call.
I'm sorry, one them call. You got to get your call ID fixed.
Is this the old man with the?
Just refer to me as rrr.
Well, you take the O off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rrr. Just rrr. Call me by my last name. Rrr.
What's up, family? I took about 5 noodles and drank about 10 cups of coffee because I had a feeling you was gonna talk about this shit tonight, bro.
The radical left is what we talking about tonight, sir.
I felt it all in my jeans.
Did you? You felt
all in
it?
my jeans.
You can feel it.
In my bones. I feel it all in my bones. Look, bro, I come to grips with it, man. I'm living in a shithole nation, bro.
Shithole country, baby.
Yeah, I'm living in a shithole country, bro. I am, and I ain't talking about the people or America. I'm talking about the government. This is this one. I just sat here on YouTube and seen Senator Coons from Delaware asked a judge that's trying to get approved for Congress or trying to get for the Senate to vote him in as a judge. Mm-hmm. This man asked him, "Can the president run for a third term?" And this judge said, "Senator Coons, I have to look that up."
I saw that. I said, what the fuck is going? Every judge they asked, all of them.
I would have to look this up. He said the Constitution said he even threw him a pass. He threw like Jalen Hurts threw AJ Brown a pass and he missed it.
Yeah,
this guy missed it. He said his exact words that came out of his mouth was, the Constitution said that he's only able to run for 2 terms. Has the president been elected 2 times? He said, yes, he's been voted in twice. He said, so can he run for a 3rd time? He said, I would have to look that up again because I really don't know.
He wouldn't say. The thing is, he wouldn't say that he was elected to 2 terms. They kept asking him who won the 2020 election.
Well, somebody else must have asked him that because the ones I seen on YouTube, Coons just asked him. And I don't like saying the word Coon. I don't like the word.
That's his last name, man.
His last name. I don't like it. I gotta call him by his last name.
He's white. He can't coon anyway.
I mean, you say you can't coon. You can't coon him.
He's white. He's not available for cooning. Yeah, Señorita Ramirez was good, but yeah.
I just can't. What I'm learning about the left right now, son, is that
the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
The leftists. Because I'm a rightist. I'm right-handed. I'm not a rightist on the right, but I throw with my right hand and I do everything with my right hand. I love the leftists, but the leftists, they some of them or the party is acting like bitches and they don't know what to do. Because every time this man changed the narrative, they focus on the narrative he changed it to and not go back to the narratives that he's trying to change it from.
It makes you wonder whose side that, or if they really are sides sometimes, right?
Well, there you go. Because if it's me, and I was so focused on the Epstein files, there's nothing that can change the narrative for me to still speaking on the Epstein files. But you never heard nobody speak on the Epstein files. Because then he went to Iraq to the war, and then he went to something else. And then he goes to something else. So instead of focusing on why is he doing all this other stuff, you go to the major part, which is the Epstein files. And then nobody is holding nobody accountable. Nobody is saying, nobody is going into these committees. And when they go, I've never seen these committees be so disrespected by other lawmakers in this country. I've never seen so many lawmakers be so disrespectful. You had Pam Bondi be disrespectful. You had the other one be disrespectful. You got Pete Hegseth, the person that's quoting Pulp Fiction slogans in a movie, be disrespectful.
Mm.
When I was growing up looking at these committee meetings, I heard people shut up and just listen, answer the question, and if they didn't answer the question, either they plead the fifth or they didn't answer it. They come back and get smart and disrespectful and get ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
I've never in my life, they don't hold them in contempt. They don't say, listen, if you keep talking, we're going to do this. This country, man, we don't have a system of checks and balance. We just have a check. There's no balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and it's not even about. I know when I bring up the racist part, you say, no, we can't talk about that because we already know he's that. But it starts with that, and it goes, everything adds up. You got the racist, and then when you go with the racist part, then you go up with everything else. And then everything is multiplied times 10 by the hypocrisy and the disrespectfulness and the ignorance and the stupidity. This country is a laughing stock. We should put the flags at half staff because America is dead. We don't have no morals to this country. I don't even think Superman would want to save America. Superman would go back. Matter of fact, he would take some kryptonite before he come and save America. Captain don't want to be America. That's the fucked up shit. Cause I just don't get it, son. I was sitting here before I even knew what you was gonna put up tonight. I got so frustrated over seeing shit. YouTube just, I don't know. I don't even type it into my phone. I don't. It just pops up on YouTube. This man, I don't know what to explain. You up at 11 o'clock at night posting stuff on Truth Social. You post an AI image of you. A skinny version of you, by the way. Did you see the post that he posted?
Yes.
I mean, you gotta wonder. God rest my mom's soul. God rest my mom's soul. I miss her so much. My mom had the beginning stages of dementia. And I know my mom couldn't sleep at night because of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling me something is going wrong with him. He can't sleep at night. I wouldn't be shocked if he's up right now.
Not at all.
I would not be shocked if he's up right now. That's some true social shit. Post that shit. Be true, tell the truth about and be sociable about that. So this is not. There's a reality, and their reality. We got to stop going by parties now. It can't be a Republican and Democrat. It got to be a human party. It got to be a morals party. It got to be somewhere right then and there, because I don't see, where can you not see how bad this country is right now? And the fact about it is that even when you talk about the money aspect of it, you can't even just focus on that part, because it's much more bullshit. He talking about how World War II had last this long, and we'd have been in the Iraq War last this long, the Vietnam War that you said that you didn't go to because you had bone spurs.
Mm-hmm.
The Vietnam War lasted this long. We had other wars that lasted this long. This has only been 62 days. Yes, after 60 days, you are required to go to Congress and explain to them what's going on with the war. And why do you need more time? What's the you saying they saying that he overused so much of the stockpile bombing Iraq, and you didn't do last year. You used it, and you said you was going for the uranium. This year you used it, and you said you was going for the uranium, and he still got the uranium.
Okay. So this whole radical left ideal, right? Now, I've never heard a politician use this term before until Trump.
There you go.
And now he uses it so much. We know that it's red meat for the base, and we know that it works. Time and time again, it works. But what do you think his reason is for using that term?
To divide. When you think of, honestly, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. When you say radical left, I don't think Democrat. You know what I think? President Obama.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Democrat. I think that's a calling card to speak up. Because as soon as you hear radical left, you don't think. And the only reason why Biden is so much a focal point because he was President Obama's VP.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So at the end of the day, everything falls back to because he got living space in Trump's head. He got a whole.
He would have, if it wasn't for Obama, he would have never wanted to be president.
Definitely.
He didn't have presidential ambitions.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner is what lit the match.
Well, the thing here's what Trump changed in politics that may be changed for good that we don't always think about. But me and you have talked about that on this show before.
Hold up. Go ahead, my fault, son. Go ahead.
Before, if you had, serious skeletons in your closet, you avoided going into politics, particularly the presidency, because you knew that they were going to come out. You had to have a security clearance.
Yeah.
So if you had a checkered past, or if you had things on you where you could be compromised because of blackmail or what's the other word? It's blackmail and what the other? Extortion.
Okay.
They would go back in your past and they would dig up and they would find what you have done. With Trump, they don't seem to have done that.
But they don't care.
But would you have to think, like, with Hillary, with every other candidate that ran against Trump, they did that.
Yes, they did.
But with Trump, they seem to have relaxed it. Now, I can't prove that they didn't look or that they didn't know, but all of this shit is coming up that didn't get released. It was private entities that Trump ran his mouth to. Like the whole grab him by the pussy shit, that didn't come from the government.
Yeah.
That came from the person he was talking to. Leaking tapes and shit like that. So you have to think, like, what happened? The security clearance. What happened? You know how hard it is to get a government security clearance? You gotta be clean for most of your life. If you sold drugs, if you pimped or prostituted and all of that shit, hey, man, it's coming out.
You know what, son? I'm sitting up here because somebody in the chat said I'm all over the place.
No, don't. We're not doing that.
I just want to say this. How can you say I'm all over the place when we got a president all over the fucking place?
Listen, the thing is, he's not necessarily talking. He's not necessarily talking to you. He could be talking to me.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how long he's been listening. You know what I mean? you know,
all
but
over the place. But we have no choice because the whole thing is all over the place.
well, I mean, if we're talking about the radical left, and I do want to stick with that.
Okay, now the radical left. There is no such, to me, there's no such thing as a radical left. And I agree with you 1,000,000% when you said that this terminology didn't come out until Trump created it. And my belief is that it's a calling card to bring out, when you hear radical left, it's not a calling card to Bill Clinton. It's a calling card to President Obama. It's a calling card to Hillary Clinton. It's a calling card to Biden, all because Biden was part of President Obama. The calling card, every time you hear radical left, that's it. It doesn't, and it brings out everybody else. It just brings out everybody. Brings out Fox News, Truth Social, Newsmax, and everybody else. Bannon, Joe Rogan. I'm like you said it last week, son. The radical. We've been talking about free speech for years. Matter of fact, he ran on free speech.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let me. You know what I'm saying?
What?
He ran on free speech and then turned back around.
Okay, so I'm going to read what the definition that we found about of radical left, what it means. Now, you may find that some of these things apply to us, and you may find that maybe he's just been using that term to. He figures since he doesn't really research shit, he figures nobody else does either, and he's right for the majority of people that are out here, regardless to their access to information, just like everyone else. But the radical left is defined as radical left refers to political factions holding extreme left-wing views, often advocating for the abolition of capitalism, private property, and traditional state structures to create an egalitarian society, frequently synonymous with the far left. This ideology supports the revolutionary over-reformist change, embracing ideologies like Marxism, socialism, anarchism, and anti-fascism, Antifa. Now, when you read that definition, it doesn't even really sound like being the radical left is all that bad. But there are some things in there that you say, well, that's kind of ridiculous and very contradictory to what they say. If you claim that the left is always stealing money and picking your pockets and, you know what I mean, and, fooling people and trying to keep people down while the people at the top stay rich, well, that doesn't sound like anti-capitalist to me. It doesn't sound like that at all.
And if you do your homework about them saying that, after every Republican that was in office and a Democrat came in, they had to clean up the mess of the Republicans because they always added more to the debt than the Democratic president did.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. People who do their homework, people who know enough about politics, people that, and the thing about it, son, this is not about, if this was a Democrat president doing the same thing, we would be saying the same shit about a Democrat president. It just so happened that this asshole is the one. And they not just voted him in and then he got voted out. Y'all voted him back in.
Okay.
So the radical left, they fed off the radical left, and they fed off, and I guarantee you, some people didn't even look up that definition.
Oh, no, most people didn't.
Most people didn't even look up the definition. Most people didn't even do their homework. They just feed off the bullshit that's spilled out there, and radical left. I'm with you, Trump.
and that identifies a lot of people. But when you say anti-capitalist, now from the view of the right. Now wait a minute. Before I even get into that, Jason wrote something that I meant to say, and is very important to this conversation, because I was saying how hard it is to get a government clearance and how clean you have to be. And he said, clean except for the stuff you did after you got your clearance, which would explain a lot of the corruption that goes on with people who are already in. You understand what I'm saying? So, all that freak shit that you did afterwards, all of that dirty stuff that you did, all of the collusion, all of the quid pro quo, all of that's up for debate after you have gotten your clearance. But before you got your clearance, it used to be the fact that they were scraping your history clean. They were combing through it and finding out shit. They would go back to wherever you grew up, places that you lived. They would ask people about you, people that you forgot about, maybe hadn't been in contact with in years, people that you weren't friends with anymore, people who may have gone to school with you but weren't your friends. That could give an objective opinion about you. My dad, to be a Green Beret, not to be in government, but just to be a Green Beret, he had to get government clearance. They had to make sure that you was fighting on the right side, but you have to also understand that was in the McCarthy era. So that communism shit was real. So, but if you say that if you say that the radical left is anti-capitalist, and I was talking before you called in about how the right wants to privatize everything. They want to tear down all government agencies, but you have to ask yourself, is that what they really want to do? Because if you want to take away government agencies like the post office, and Trump has spoken about it many times, how he wants to get rid of the post office and just let FedEx and UPS and all of them do their thing. The thing is, if you're going to privatize everything, then the question becomes, well, if you want to shrink government, you're making a lot of noise there, sir.
I'm sorry, that's me scratching my ear.
Okay, all right. If the government wants to privatize everything, and if it's like, well, this is my business, I make my money this way, nobody can tell me what to do, you can't regulate anything because it's all private business. Okay, fine. So the thing is, why should there be any laws? Because the police force should be privatized too. Why shouldn't it be?
Right.
No public police. Private. They want to privatize everything else. And let's not stop. Everything private security. No more police force. If you need somebody to save your life or get your cat out of a tree or stop your husband from beating your head in, call the Pinkertons. That's right. We taking it way back. Call the Pinkertons. Call Brinks. Call Wells Fargo. They were all private security firms, right? So yeah, and I was talking about marriage. Marriage is a state-sanctioned institution. Well, we know, like Muslims, and Hebrew Israelites, and some other religions, they don't go through the state. You're married through their religion, by God, like we say marriage is, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is, if you actually privatize marriage, okay. So how you gonna tell me that I gotta pay child support or spousal support? It's private. I'm giving that bitch shit. This is my marriage. not yours. Stay the fuck out. Not only that, since this is my marriage and it's private, if I want to beat on my wife every day and drink beer, that's on me. She don't like it, tell her to call the Pinkertons. My brother Tom is in the house. What's good? Go like, hey Troy. Hold on. Troy. Can you believe this bitch called the Pinkertons on me last night?
Yo, son. Yo, man, I would have came on the show, but the Pinkertons came and got me, bro.
Yo, I'm watching private TV, right?
The private TV.
Listening to private radio, and next thing you know, the Pinkertons at my door. I said, bitch, I can't believe you called the Pinkertons. Man, shit. You know how much money I had to pay to get out? Hey, so as ridiculous as what I'm talking about sounds, this is actually, these are the things you could possibly run into once you really start talking about no government agency. They want to tool around and pick and choose about.
I was listening to private radio, and every private radio station only had Kid Rock on it.
I mean, XM radio.
Yeah.
And other stations. The FCC. All those private stations, it just means that the FCC doesn't necessarily regulate what they can do or say the way that it does, on public radio, stations or TV stations or whatever. State funded stations. So, there's a lot on this shit. Okay, hold on. Jason says, on the real, that private policy shit is something that's been proposed by some of the same people who were behind Project 2025. It involves corporate administration of municipalities. Exactly. It does. And when you start going down that road, then you're really talking about a fascist regime. There's no way around it.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I didn't even know that was Jason.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Jason?
We respect people's rights to change their identity. If we stop calling Cassius Clay because he changed his name to Muhammad Ali, then Ninth Gate Stories is what my man's name is.
What's going on, Ninth Gate?
I'm just calling him Nine. Now I hope I can do that. You know what I mean? But
I think he let you do it because you like I'm close brother, so
it's all good.
I'm gonna call him 9GS.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. But yeah, so they want to pick and choose what benefits them, which is a natural thing to do. But to think that nobody else is watching or paying attention to this shit is ridiculous. It really is. But when we start talking about this radical left thing, we know that it's just a propaganda term, but it's a pretty effective propaganda term.
Right.
Even though you and I may not listen to none of that bullshit that Trump talks about and whatever, but we have to remember that 77 million people did listen to that. And I'm not sure if that figure has been cut in half or whatever the case is. But there are enough people that I encounter on a regular basis that still stand by that shit and still defend that and still believe in that way of life. Even if they don't really understand what believing in that life means. So if you were to label yourself the radical left, which one of those identifications or identifiers that I read would apply to you. Like anti-capitalism? No, we're not anti-capitalism. Let me just say, I'm not anti-capitalism. I don't think that nobody should make any money or there shouldn't be any private enterprise. No, we're just saying that there has to be rules and regulations associated with that, because we know that private companies used to, just get a bunch of employees killed and shit because of dangerous work conditions and shit that nobody regulated, and it was a problem. And there are some like, if all railroads were private, would we be able to make those railroads go where we wanted them to go? Imagine just, even though most of the United States, I can't say most of the United States, but a lot of the United States is paved. If it was up to private companies to pave the roads, who's to say that they wouldn't pick and choose where those roads were paved? It's bad enough that the government does that itself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into this. When you start saying we should just be able to do whatever we want to do and be free just because we have money. Because it's always, if you have money, then you're free. When you're poor, you find your own ideology of freedom. Yeah, you can think freely, but I don't know what to tell you. But they don't associate themselves with anybody who doesn't have the ambitions to make a whole lot of money. But okay, so the abolition of capitalism. How about the abolition of private property? Now, who doesn't want their house to be private property? Now, you can say that they're talking about public housing. There should be no public housing. There should be no. That doesn't make sense, because the radical left is the one pushing for the projects in Section 8. So, like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, so we might have to look deeper into that one. We might need some, I know myself, I might need some clarity on that. And abolition of the traditional state structures to create an egalitarian society. Frequently synonymous with the far left, the ideology supports revolutionary over-reformist change. Over-reformist change. So I guess in their minds, over-reformist means things like universal health care, because in the United States, we've never had it. Meanwhile, in countless other countries, they've all had it.
You can walk right across the border. Canada has it.
Mexico has it too.
Mexico has it too.
So it's like the United States hasn't had it. So universal health care is like, that's radical to us because we haven't done it. It doesn't mean that by practice it's over-reformist, but it is over-reformist when we have done everything the way that we've done it for so long. What other things can you think of that might be considered over-reformist? Like a change that's so extreme, even though it might make sense. Can you think of anything else?
No, not really. Not really, because I don't think that the left is radical. I really, a lot of, it's just, a lot of things that you read off about radical left, I'm listening to it, I'm like, that's bullshit. It's amazing how you can come up with terminologies and all that shit, and then it sticks. And then what you just did was breaking everything down to try to see if it fit the left. It makes it radical.
Well, wait a minute, because there are some other things that might be considered over reformist, but that might still make sense. Like, how about universal child care?
That would be somewhat. Would that be right? That would be radical.
That exactly, and it might be over reformist to some people. Personally, I think it's a good idea.
But see, the thing about it is that it becomes radical when it knocks down their bottom line and it doesn't allow them to make money off of it. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're talking about universal health care, that's radical. No, we can't have that. If you're talking about gun reform, no, that's radical. We can't have that. If you're talking about what you just said, that's radical. We can't have that. Which is beneficial because it's a beautiful thing. Because if you think about it, if you get free health care, that means people can go to work. That means people, number one, you're giving free health care. That means it's going to create jobs. And then the parents can go to work. And that's going to put more money into the economy. But you don't look at it that way. You look at it as them people, those minorities want free stuff instead of seeing the benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? And the benefit is that it grows the economy or it stimulates the economy.
Well,
and that's what and that's not what they want to do. It doesn't benefit their bottom line. The bottom line is to put money in their pocket and benefit their margins. You know.
Well, I'm just saying, if we
what you said about child care, that's beautiful. That's not radical.
but it is over reformist. You understand what I'm saying? It's something that's never been done here before. Now, you could argue that it's something that never was needed at a certain time in this country, but it sure is needed now.
Right.
I mean, so they might be right. We may be radical left. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. You know what I mean? I'm ready to buy the shirt. I'm ready to put it on the ID. Radical left, nigga. You know what I mean? Look.
No, you can put on there radical left is right. You know what I mean?
Listen, man.
At the end of the day, some changes, and sometimes change is good. You know, it's not radical. But when you put, it's like this. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. You call it what is it? The Affordable Care Act. And if you go to anybody in Little America, you say, "Do you like the Affordable Care Act?" "Oh yeah, the Affordable Care Act is nice. I like that." And then you say, "Well, what about Obamacare?" "Fuck that Obamacare." I don't give a fuck about no Obamacare. Fuck him. And then they don't know that's the Affordable Care Act. But since you put Obamacare on it, Obama on it, you don't like it. So that's the same thing as radical left. It's things that will be beneficial to society and to our way of living. But since you put radical on it, it makes it scary. It makes it bad.
Well,
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in his defense, it kind of flows. Like if you said radical right, that sound kind of corny. But radical left, I'm like, oh, wait a minute now, radical left. But let's go on. Let's go on. Okay, so over reformists, I'm sure that if we put our heads together, pause. But anyway, if we put our heads together, we could probably think of some other things that might be beneficial, but let me just
ask you this one question, then, son. Was Roosevelt radical when he did everything to try to do everything he could possibly do to benefit the economy during the Depression?
Yes. It was It was absolutely considered radical at the time.
At the time, but nobody called him radical. There was no term of radical.
Not only did they not call him that at that time, the press did not report everything that they saw. They were very guarded about the way that they reported certain things, like, people like Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was he was a drunk, he was a womanizer, he got into all kinds of shit. And the press knew it, and they protected their heroes. And that kind of still goes on. If you look at the way that Fox News, CNN now, and like Newsmax and whatever, like how outlets like that still coddle and protect, will sanitize the actions of people in a particular political party. So, but back then they was sick with it. Like they just wouldn't, like you having people think negatively about the president of the United States was out of the question. However, I'm sure that there were people who were opposed to it, but we didn't have TV back then. You know what I'm saying? You only had the radio, and who was going to sponsor radio programs that talked about that kind of stuff? Who was even going to listen to it at those times? So there was a different time that they were living in back then, and we have to, pay respect to the differences between then and now. Now we have the opportunity and the quote unquote freedom to report the news as the facts have become available to us, but we also have the autonomy, to refuse to do that, and many of us have chosen that route.
Yeah, but and that's the whole thing about it. There's so many words and terminologies that he didn't created that go towards the radical left, low IQ. The low IQ people. That's pretty much terms that goes towards the radical left, or people that don't agree with them. But 9 times out of 10, he's speaking about terms, and them terms are minorities. Not 9% of the 90% of the time is women, minority women. AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Maxine Waters and all these, and then minority, the black Supreme Court justice, this is the people that he would. These are terms that go towards the radical left, but that's where it goes to. Even if when you call people low IQ, it goes towards the radical left. It's like a bounce pass.
Yeah. So what other things would you consider to be over reformist? That, all right, let me just put it this way. There's some things that I would like to see the government take over and regulate that I think would be very helpful. Now we have universal health care, not that we actually have it, but I'm saying that's an example. Universal child care, which has been presented. That's another example. I would like to see gas prices be government regulated, even in times that aren't like this.
Right now,
because
something like that, son, you fucking with some big money, bro.
Well, but okay, we fucking with some big money, right? But at the same time, those people who money that we're fucking with already receive all kinds of bailouts and all kinds of government subsidies, don't they?
Yeah.
So what's the big deal? What's wrong? They still going to get their money. There ain't enough money for them. They already getting money in seemingly unlimited supply. It hasn't done anything to quench their greed, But what I'm saying is this. People already think that gas prices are regulated in the first place. Why do you think that they keep going to the president of the United States asking him to lower the prices of gas? And I don't know why why the president hasn't just stood up and said, I can't fucking do that. Because he can't. But can he? Because if you can give the government, give the oil companies something, an incentive to lower the prices of gas, what's the difference?
Well, I can give you one. Regulate car insurance. Whereas though, if after 5 years of being a safe driver, you get a rebate check.
That's not regulation. There should be universal insurance. If the government can regulate the fact that you have to have it, why can't they regulate the price of it?
Right.
Like, so that would mean that they could cap it. So, but see, when you start capping things, insurance, gas, things that private companies have been able to price the way that they feel like pricing it. See, that's when they start talking about socialism. And that's supposed to be totally bad, right? Yet, when these Fortune 500 companies need a bailout, they're all about socialism. Because they'll take all of the money that the government gives them. Like the auto industry, it's a form of socialism. What they have done for the for the automakers, the U.S. automakers. So GM knows all about it. Ford knows all about it. Chrysler knows all about it. They've all benefited. So it was okay. Socialism was okay for them. But it's a radical idea. Over reformist. Like Maria Ramirez. And I'm glad you said this, ma. Because she's saying cheapest gas here is $5.49 a gallon. Chevron is $6.49 a gallon. And gas is always high as fuck in California. Why should it be that way? If it was government regulated, wouldn't be able to do that. So if it's $2 and something on the East Coast, it's $2 and something on the West Coast, it's $2 and something down south, Midwest, up north. I'm sure that there are people who don't work for the oil companies who would be like, shit, count me in. Who's it hurting? You know, so, this whole radical left thing, we just kicking around ideas, but now you're starting to think about it like, wait a minute. Yeah, there are some things that would be considered over reformist. Once you take away the power of the label and start thinking like, well, like, I don't know if you was here earlier. I was like, well, black people have decided that we can call each other nigga, but we can't call each other radical left. If you agree that you can take the power and the sting out of the word nigga and use it the way you want to use it, if you are that race. Okay, so if they tell us that the word nigga is not even the hard GR, the nigger is not supposed to hurt you, then maybe the radical left shouldn't hurt you either. But it's the propaganda associated that will make people treat you a certain type of way. That's the problem. But now I'm starting to brainstorm a little bit, and I'm thinking that, okay, well, if black people have to conform to being called nigga, and we're being told that you have to stop being so sensitive, and and stop letting the word nigga trigger you. You can't be triggered by the word nigga no more. Okay, so then maybe other people need to understand what it's like to be called term that they disagree with being called, like nigga, but more like radical left. Like, okay, I'm radical left. Yeah, I have some radical, some over reformist types of views. I have some socialist types of reviews. I mean, Bernie Sanders openly calls himself a socialist. He ain't got no problem with it. He has stood by it for 3 election cycles. Like, shit, I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah, I'm a socialist. I believe that the government should step in there.
There's nothing wrong to embrace the term radical left, but the way the right use it, they use it to start fear. And that's the only thing, that's the part that fucks up the whole narrative of radical left. You know what I'm saying? Just like the analogy I used with Obamacare. You know, Affordable Care Act is beautiful. But Obamacare wasn't worth shit. I'll get the Affordable Care Act every day. For my for my meemaw, for my papa, I get that all day. I'll be damned if I let Obamacare in my household, that African American N-word, I'll never do that. But papa and meemaw, yeah.
Okay.
I love when they say meemaw. But that's the truth, though. You know, they just have. You know, I mean, I don't know. Stephen Miller. When I look at Stephen Miller, I could have sworn I seen his ancestor on an episode of Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing. Colonel Clink. I think that might have been him. That might have been his ancestor in real life, Colonel Clink.
Okay.
I'm serious. But I mean, the radical left, you take away the term radical, the ideas of things that you just brought up, and that there were some, universal health care, that's something Bernie Sanders had brought up, universal child care, what's his name? Bernie Sanders brought that up too. Bernie has some terrific ideas. You can think that you can call them radical, you can call them shit. What if they call this suspect left?
Honestly, I don't like Bernie. Never have. I don't like him. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have any good ideas sometimes.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
you don't have to like it's like this, right? I don't like Trump. I can't stand him. But if there was one thing he came out with that I can say, you know what? Maybe I could get behind that. There's nothing. Not one thing. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And the thing about it, son, and like I said, I'm not going to get off the radical left situation. Even George Bush always was known as the C grade student president, because that's the highest grade he got. But he was smart enough to put people in his cabinet that was more intelligent than him and listen to him.
Well, he had a different agenda.
Yes. And he fed into the same agenda as who? Dick Cheney. Because Trump is the same way as George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. They're benefiting off of a war. They benefited off of Venezuela, off of oil. Halliburton. You think Halliburton made them billionaires beyond billionaires? The reason why George W. Bush don't speak up is because he didn't made the cookie jar to put the cookies in, to put his hands in it.
Well, before Trump, he was like the worst president ever. Unlike Trump,
You had to laugh at that.
unlike Trump, nobody ever called him the greatest president ever.
Right.
There are plenty of people who call Trump the greatest president ever. I mean, like, I love it or hate it. So, you know. Oh, you said this is a TDS channel? Yeah, I mean, like,
Trump the rage syndrome.
look, like, to use like, this motherfucker is a branding expert. TDS. Like,
Yeah.
so you can't disagree with this motherfucker without somehow being associated with having a condition that goes against logic that they say is his. Like, I can't. You know what I mean? I ain't jacking that.
I guess they had Obama derangement syndrome for 8 years.
Trump is the one that has that.
Yeah, he still do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't hear other people talk about. I think that if it wasn't for Trump, people wouldn't talk about Obama like that no more. Because we tend to move on to the next president.
What president you know, son, will think about draining the pool at the where the Washington Monument is at just to paint it blue so it can look beautiful during the war?
Listen, man. You have to understand the mind of a person that concentrates on what they can actually get accomplished. This war is hard for him. It's hard. This is difficult because he really thought he could just go in there, fuck shit up, get them to, make them get on their knees and be called a hero. That's kind of like what happened in Venezuela. He took a chance. He rolled the dice and won. He thought he would be able to do that with Iran. Like, man, shit, fuck this shit. I mean, even though, they said it was dangerous, they ain't dangerous. Watch, we go in there, bomb they shit to death, and them motherfuckers are fold. And I'll show everybody that this could have been done a long time ago. And it's not working. Now he's getting an education on why these other endless wars started. So he's not known for having long-term plans. He's a short-term guy. So this ballroom, well, they say that the reason that he really wants this ballroom is because it has a bunker. And he doesn't really plan on ever leaving the White House. So like this, when you dealing with the mind of a fucking maniac, of course to you, it's going to sound ridiculous. Like, come on, man. Ain't nobody going to do this shit. But you don't understand the mind of a maniac. So to him, he's like, yeah, had I had this ballroom before, I wouldn't have left in 2020. I would have left them, do they certification shit or whatever January 6th. And then I would have went to my new home and they wouldn't have been able to come get me. I'm locking in. So he said this time, they won't be able to, they can't come and get me. You think, if anybody thinks he's bullshitting about that third term shit, or think that he's leaving or planning to leave in 2028, is not paying attention to shit. You don't fix up your house to only be there for 4 years. You don't do that. And you don't build a house that you only going to live in for 4 years. Doesn't happen. So we talking about radical left and over reformist things. Well, how about that? He may have some radical left in him too. The things that he's changed have been over reformist, in my opinion. And I don't think that I'm the only one who shares that opinion. over reformist. Maybe we need to start charging or labeling Donald Trump as the radical. He's the radical. And look at him. He's trying to change shit, trying to do shit that's never been done, implement things that have never been implemented before. He might have some radical left in him too. He has some radical something. Building, tearing down monuments, labeling everything, putting his name on everything. Over reformist. Wanting his name on money, while he's still alive.
I need a new passport. I was scared to go get one of them because this face will be inside the passport now.
He heard LL call himself the living legend back in the day. He said, "Hold my beer." Mama said, all right, anyway. Yeah, so, yeah. What up, Malu? What's good? What's good? There's a lot to unpack with this shit. It's a deeper concept than we have given it credit for. My man Clay says, TDS is projection in my eyes. Nobody has it more than his followers. Without a doubt. But the only thing is TDS is supposed to be a term used for people who don't like Trump. So, deranged, isn't that the opposite of arrange? So maybe he didn't got Trump arrangement syndrome. I don't know.
They got Trump teabagging syndrome. That's all they do is let this bull teabag with bullshit.
I just remember that video I played for y'all. I think it was last week when I was showing how he ditched that child care question.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all noticed in that video how he got the crowd to forget about the fact that he totally didn't answer the question, and he treated the question like child care was a okay. She asked him what would he do specifically about the child care situation in the United States, and he started talking about tariffs.
I remember.
Okay, so for those who weren't here, and for those who didn't pick it up, they asked him about what he would do specifically about childcare, and he didn't. The way he started talking about tariffs is like we asked him to choose the way we were going to make money. Bless you too. Like we were asking him how we were going to make money for the country between childcare or TDS or tariffs. And so he kept saying, like, we're going to make so much money with tariffs that childcare is not something we're going to have to worry about, as if like there was no indication that the money from the tariffs was going to pay for childcare. It was just like, we ain't got to worry about childcare because we're going to have so much money coming into the country. And nobody said, what the fuck are you talking about? But they started cheering at the end when he said So word salad, blah, 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 weave, and make America great again. And they was like, yeah, make America. And he noticed that shit like, oh shit, I totally botched he knew he botched it, but he noticed that, damn, all I gotta say is make America great again. And it brings him back. I'm gonna play the video. Because the shit, you know what I mean? The shit is worth analyzing. Hold on.
Put that shit in college classes.
Real shit, man. It's crazy. Trump on childcare. There you go. All right. Which one did I?
You know where's a bunch of Trumps at? Go to the senior living place. A whole bunch of Trumps. Whole bunch of Trumps. You try to, hey, Grandpa.
Here we go.
President Trump.
Okay.
You talked about how the increase in the price of food, gas, and rent is hurting families. But the real cost that's breaking families' backs and preventing women.
Pay attention, y'all.
Workforce is childcare. Childcare is now more expensive than rent for working families and is costing the economy more than $122 billion a year, making it one of the most urgent economic issues that is facing our country. In fact, the cost of childcare is outpacing the cost of inflation, with the majority of American families with young children spending more than 20% of their income on childcare. One thing that Democrats and Republicans have in common is that both parties talk a lot about what they're going to do to address the childcare crisis, but neither party has delivered meaningful change. If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down.
Wait a minute.
Somebody we had Senator.
Now, I have to stop this for a second because I want to make sure that y'all pay attention to the question she asked. She gave him the numbers of how it affects American citizens and, especially working class citizens where, they spending so much of their income on child care to the point where they can barely afford to take care of the child outside of making sure that he or she has somewhere to be while they're at work. So she said that both sides are aware of the issue and both sides have claimed to want to do something about it, but neither side has done anything significant to offer some relief to the people who are dealing with this child care crisis and the unaffordability of it. So she asked him, would you commit to addressing the child care issue? And if so, if you win in November, this was 2024, and if so, what specific piece of legislation would you implement in order to help people with the cost of child care? So I'm going to take it back a little bit and we're going to let it rip again.
You commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable, and if so, what specific piece of legislation
Specific.
will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. I was somebody. We had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because look, child care is child care.
He's leaving Earth. Hold on.
Did you say he's leaving?
He's leaving Earth. Now think about how he started off. He said, and I would do that. And, it's so impactful. I was talking to Ivanka and Mark Rubio about childcare. And, childcare is childcare. Now he's about to go total left because he said he's about to start talking about tariffs. She asked this motherfucker about the specific piece of legislation would he implement to make child care unaffordable. Now, let's continue. I'm sorry I'm stopping, but YouTube makes us stop or they'll flag it anyway, so.
But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including child care, that it's going to take, we're going to have, I look forward to having no.
The motherfucker is talking about tariffing countries, which will bring money into the country. And he's talking about childcare as if it's doing the same thing. He's talking like he doesn't understand that childcare is taking money away, not putting money in. So that's why I said he's leaving Earth. In other words, he don't have a fucking clue about how to address this issue, but he knows he's on the hot seat and he has to say something. So he's going to try to throw you off. And this is where he's doing it. He's talking about the number, like, we're going to make so much money, you're going to forget about childcare. No, the fuck you ain't, because you ain't getting none of the money. And your child still needs somewhere to be that you can afford to put him or her. Okay, let's go.
Deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country. Because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth. But growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars, and as much as child care is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people, but we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make
Here it comes.
America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it. Thank you. Very good question.
Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. Silence until he got the what part?
Make America great again.
Like fucking, like it was a magic wand. In other words, all of that shit was word salad to everybody. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then he said, make America great again. They're like, oh my God. So it's almost like when Busta Rhymes did the row like a dungeon. Oh shit. Or engine number 9 down to New York tries to if the tray fall off the track, pick it up. I'm back. This is the fucking this is the hey ho hip hop parade. This shit is crazy. Check it.
America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're failing on this. Jump. Thank you.
And the motherfucker said, very good question. Cause he's like, oh shit, I jerked him again. I fucking did it again. I should have just did make America great again in the beginning. Like, yo, this is the shit that we dealing with. And they talk about Trump derangement syndrome. What the fuck was, yo. Radical left, baby. Radical left. This motherfucker is Trump is the radical left. I think we uncovered it. The radical left is Trump. Over reformist. Nobody else has been able to get away with this shit. As corrupt as it may be, as disorganized as it may be, as immoral, unjust, and unethical as it may be, he is the radical left. He is. He's just not the left. But his over-reformist policies and practices, he ill with the ear.
You broke the code, bro.
Yo, man, that video, since the first time I saw it before the election in 2024, I was like, yo, what the fuck did he just do? How did y'all let him get away with that? Not just it wasn't just the networks, it was the fucking audience. That motherfucker said it was crickets before Let's Make America Great Again. He talked about childcare like childcare was another
tariff.
Yeah, like it was an income producing for the government, agency. He said, nah, the numbers I'm talking about, yo, these tariffs, like, yo, I understand. We should, he was talking like we could take childcare and rule the world with it. Like, yo, yeah, I got childcare. United States, we got childcare. You know what I mean? Fuck the euro. Like, what? Like, yeah, man, we got childcare. We got childcare. We don't care about the euro. We don't care about the yen. We don't care about the China, Russia, nobody. We got childcare. That's what's putting money. That's what's stirring the drink in the United States. Like, bitch, what the fuck is you drinking? And this.
When he get done saying all that shit that don't mean nothing, he ended with what, son?
Make America great again, baby. Oh my God! Oh my God! Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up! Fresh on the scene! Like, what the fuck happened? Like, damn! Y'all dumbass Americans! What the fuck happened to you? What the fuck? What the fuck happened to you? Damn, homie. In 24, you was the man, homie. The fuck happened to you?
Pick it up. Back on the scene.
That video is too much for me, dog. It is. It's too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is doing. That video needs to be studied. Not enough attention has been paid to it. Not in my opinion, because that outlined where we are now.
Hey, son, I'm putting to you like this, bro. I'm nervous about the midterms, bro.
Man, you know what? I'm not worried about the midterms. I'm worried about tomorrow.
Me too.
You know what, Troy? You know what we ain't doing in a long time, man?
What?
Ain't no need of worrying what tomorrow's gonna bring. It'll be all over in the morning.
What's the part? Tom,
Wait, no, hold up. Sun's gonna shine in your face, make you feel like a you can win this race and you can be the winner. Take the prize and go home. When I feel the Lord, I call you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And you answer me.
You right when you do that.
That's what I've been missing. You know what I mean? Fuck the midterms. I don't know if we gonna make it to the midterms with this shit.
You know, the fucked up part is, son, when you're a president, you get older. I'm not even a president, and I'm getting gray hairs listening to this motherfucker, boy.
Listen, man. When they got me going back to pre-election 2024 videos, doing a tutorial, trying to make a connection between what this motherfucker said 2 years ago and what's going on right now, you know shit is fucked up. Midterms Tuesday.
You talking about this and that. I'm talking about jump around. I'm talking about crisscross jump. These motherfuckers. You talking about hip hop array.
Maria Señorita Ramirez said, every day I wake up and think today is the day. That shit is very real. This shit is horrific. You know what I mean? This shit is horrific. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yo, man. I mean, listen, we about to get on about here. But this shit, we got to really think about, you know, where we have come from in terms of this cat. And where we have the potential to go. Because, you know, we talking about a bottomless pit here. We're not talking about somebody who has limits or restraints or, you know, some people have unlimited creativity for.
You know, I always say, I remember back in the day was, you know, when you hit rock bottom, you can go, now that you hit rock bottom, you can go no way but up. No, not with this. You can still go, you can go deeper. You can go deeper. Shit, it's a fucking Barry White song. Deeper and deeper. Yes. Now I understand, Barry. I thought it was about sex. No, it's about Trump.
So, Laura Lee, I don't know if you watched that video that we played a little while ago. You probably did, though. I'd be interested in to know your point of view. Because I don't care whether you are a Trump supporter or not. Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, okay. Well, fuck it. Tell you what.
The only thing I can say to you, Laura Lee, is make America great again.
When when you if you finish the show, go back and fast forward the time till about 1:40. About 1:40 and you'll get there. When I was playing Trump's child care video from 2024 before he got elected. But anyway, Troy, let's do this poll question. Let's get ready to get on up out of here. Okay. Which of these ideals is more plausible to you? Trump only cares about himself. 62%. Get the fuck out of here. We must have been MAGA deficient tonight. All right. 24% says the left hates America. Okay. And 14% said most GOP are racist capitalists. And 0% said most Democrats are gay and whatever. 0? Damn. Even I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? Like, God damn. Our demographic was very democratic tonight. You know what I mean? The radical left, baby. The radical left. Oh, man. Yo, Malu, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to read your comments. I saw y'all was doing y'all thing in the chat. I appreciate all of y'all. I really appreciate y'all coming here every night and getting it popping, getting that, getting our brain cells regenerated and pushed in the right direction. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. So much of what we experience on the internet is just for content. Motherfuckers, it's so bad now. People are admitting it. Like, I don't believe in none of that shit I be talking about or posting. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get a couple of dollars. Just trying to get a couple of dollars. And hey, man, I ain't against nobody getting a couple of dollars. I ain't against nobody getting no money. But we also have to understand the impact of our words and our ideas that we push on to other people. So, to see, real adults come through here on a regular basis and really, push the agenda of change, the agenda of cerebral freedom. I'll call it that, cerebral freedom. Some people just call it free thinking, but fuck all that. Cerebral freedom. I appreciate y'all coming through. For real.
All day, bro. That's what we do.
No doubt.
That's what we do, bro. I mean, it's just amazing. I like to say to everybody, be safe.
Hold on. Before you go, S. Mickens says, conservative here. I vote for who doesn't support killing babies. Well, then I guess you voted for who supports killing little girls at their school, bombing the shit out of 150 of them, huh?
Yes.
Like you just mean individual unborn babies. Okay, all right. Well, that's yeah.
Oh, and you also vote for, let's just think about the Epstein files and them little girls. He might didn't kill them, but he done a lot with them. But I digress, man. Go ahead. In the words of Rihanna and T.I., go ahead and live your life. Hey.
Listen. May Giuliani get sicker. Giuliani get sicker. Giuliani get sicker. Giuliani get sick. When I see you when I see you. Fuck out of here, bitch ass nigga. You know what I mean?
I think James Comey should say what Trump said about Robert Mueller. James Comey should say about Giuliani.
Look, this cat said nothing is proven. That's all speculation. I like the way every time it comes to something that Trump did, there's no proof. They didn't prove it. Yet this motherfucker has never proven shit. Oh, I'll have Obama's birth certificate in 2 weeks. Never produced it. Everything is in 2 weeks. Y'all don't make him prove shit. But everything that's proven against him, like when this motherfucker was adjudicated for sexual assault, well, that's public information. Guess they didn't prove that shit either. You know what I mean? He talking about fraud and abuse, all of the bankruptcies, all of the businesses that this motherfucker has frauded and bankrupted. Nothing is proven there too. I'm proven there either, huh? You better start reading a simple, that little magnifying glass that's above every search engine. All you gotta do is put the information in there. It'll tell you. It works just like it works for everybody.
Poor little Mackenzie 5. In the words of God, in the words while God was hanging on the dead cross.
Oh, damn, that's what that says.
They know not what they
Mackenzie.
do. It's Mackenzie.
I said Mackenzie. I tell you, bro, y'all good at this shit. You know what I mean? With me, you gotta write this shit. Mackenzie. Wow, that's great. Yeah, man. Smarter than me. You said if it can't be proven, I can't believe it. And yes, only God knows. Well, I tell you what can be proven. I can prove that your gas is high as fuck and so is your food.
I can prove that when you go to save a lot, you can't save a lot.
All right, man. Yeah, this shit is crazy. All right, Troy. Good looking.
Love you, bro. Love you, bro. Love my family in the chat. Y'all know who y'all are, man.
All right,
Y'all
man.
know who y'all
One
are.
love. Appreciate you. Holla
You know what
back.
I mean? I'm glad I took my new dudes tonight, bro, because it felt good being on this show. And I'm glad Kim's, I'm sorry that you couldn't call in because this was one of them shoes. You know this is one of your shoes. I hope
Hopefully.
you look at this show and be like, shit, it was about Trump in the left. The radical left. How come she gonna be mad as shit?
All right, man. I get with you.
All right.
All right, peace. Bet we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 4th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Marsha LaShanti. Happy birthday. And also Aaron Pender. And he's raising money for survivingbreastcancer.org. And also my man Latif Bey, Unspeakable Joy, Tanisha Salmon, Dixon Caterbury, last but not least. And I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 4th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, Mackenzie, you says, how do we fix healthcare? I don't know. Trump said he would be back with that in two weeks. He said that. That was a quote. Give me in 2 weeks. We will have a replacement for Obamacare. He said it. Want me to look it up? I mean, we can look it up. 2 weeks. It was like 10 years ago, though. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, yo, I want y'all to have a great night. Y'all, all my radical left, stand up. My radical left. If you are the radical left, stand up. The radical left, the radical left, the radical. Yo, that's me. Radical left, yeah, that's me. All right, y'all. Yo, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I appreciate y'all all coming through. I really do. Y'all have a good night. Get some rest. You know what I mean? If you're about to go to work, go ahead. You know what I mean? Put in that pay and get that money. The money. Whatever you do it with love and be safe. Ah, peace.